Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the stream, everybody. My name is Evan Freiberger, and today we're going to be covering the snow storm and the storm after that. And also, we got some severe weather to talk about, kind of in the short term and also a little bit further in the long term as well. But hopefully everybody is having a wonderful day, had a wonderful Christmas as well, and a wonderful New Year's Eve. A lot of time has passed since our last live stream. But yeah, hopefully everybody's doing all right. Let's see, who all do we have here? We have Roadster Jim. You're already leaving, Mr. Top Fan? That's all right. Hello, Susan. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, pretty much what we're going to be doing today is going over the forecast out there and talking about all the storms that we need to talk about. We got snowstorms, severe weather, we got rain, lots of different things to touch on and give you guys an update about. And also, yeah, and we're going to be answering your guys' questions after that as well. So if you guys have any questions to ask, feel free to ask them after this initial forecast. Just hold them there, and we will go over your specific area and do as many people as we can. I do have to cut it short, so I'll try to get through the forecast as fast as possible and make sure that we can answer as many questions as possible. Hey, thank you, Susan, for the one gifted membership. Everybody put birthday cakes in the chat for Susan. Thank you very much. That is extremely nice of you. Let's see, from Connecticut, no snow yet, but I think the possibilities are still there for you. But all right, so essentially what we're going to do, we're going to go over the forecast, and again, hold your questions until after the stream, and then yeah, we'll answer everybody's questions as much as we can. I am going to be getting off at 5:45 tonight. Going to play some pickleball with my little brother, try to lose some weight. Gained a lot of weight since COVID, man. I've been trying to get it off, but I am going to get it off this time. I'm eating salads. No more super fattening wings for me. Eating salads and playing pickleball and working out. Your lawn chairs blew away. Yeah. That was probably a severe weather live stream, or maybe it was that was during the that big windstorm we had that came up the East Coast. Yeah, I have a little brother. All right, well, let's go ahead and start talking about the weather since we got a decent amount of people here already. But yeah, as you can see, this is the broad view, just the height anomalies out here, the low pressures and the high pressures, the troughs and the ridges, and these blue areas here. Those are those low pressure systems. We got some rain coming through the southeast right now. Again, not really expecting anything severe out of that. That's going to move off to the east, and then this big trough over here is going to start dropping snow, believe it or not, starting off there in the mountainous regions of Arizona, going into New Mexico as well, and then pushing this through. You can see that moves into Texas and Oklahoma. We're going to be expecting a little bit of snow there as well, and that moves off to the east, and then kind of comes over here to the East Coast, which is where everybody is wanting a decent amount of updates from, which we will be going over the latest numbers there. And then we have this other system on the backside here. Also, I forgot to mention with this storm, there's going to be some severe weather on the southern side of that that we're going to be going over in this stream as well. We have a marginal risk out there for severe weather, with the main risk probably going to be damaging winds and a small chance for tornadoes. And then, yeah, pushing this all the way through, you can see we got this other big low pressure system that's going to be coming into the United States. This one's definitely more organized, and we're going to be watching this guy for the potential for some decent snowfall up here around the Great Lakes regions, but that's going to shift around a little bit, maybe a little bit of extra snowfall for the Northeast, and then that severe weather threat stretching all the way from Texas down into Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. So let's go ahead and move this through. Again, I'm going to kind of rush through this forecast just because I do want to get to y'all's questions, and we're not going to be live for too long. But yeah, you can see that rain's going to move off to the east there. Got that snow pushing into Arizona, New Mexico, also into Oklahoma, Kansas there. Also potentially making it all the way into Arkansas as well, and Missouri. And then that kind of calms down there in terms of the amounts of snowfall. And then we have this moving into the Northeast, around in the Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania region there. And then that pushes off into the Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Massachusetts region as we get into Sunday. So really starting, Saturday, going into Sunday morning, and then potentially another little clipper system coming in on the backside and kind of merging with this storm, causing a little bit more snow there along the coast throughout Sunday. And then by Monday, the snow should be moving off of the coast. Then we have this other storm system that's going to come through again, still showing that signal for some decent snowfall there on the northern side of the storm, and then still a mess out in front of this. So still some questions. Are we going to have enough instability for tornadoes with this storm? But we will go in that a little bit in detail today. This is the snow forecast over there for Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico. As you can see, pushing this forward, starting off in Thursday morning, that snow moves through Arizona and really starts picking up going into Thursday evening there for New Mexico. Looking at the estimated snowfall amounts, which I did have up. I don't know. What happened here? Why is this all the way over here? Let's move. I think this is supposed to be over here. Hold on. Not exactly sure what happened there. All right, there we go. Estimated snowfall amounts up here on the mountains. You can see, a dusting to 2 to 3 inches with some higher amounts over there on the mountainous regions on the border of Arizona going into New Mexico, and then also a dusting to an inch or two on the higher elevations here in Utah and also in Nevada as well. The NAM has a similar picture here with a little bit higher snowfall amounts up here on the higher elevations. So, take it with a grain of salt, but this is pretty close. This is pretty close to the event. So definitely some mountain up there. If you guys like skiing in these regions, still could potentially get some skiable snow up there in Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona. Do you guys even have snow lifts over there? Looks strong. Yeah, it looks like a decent storm, especially that second one coming into the country. This is going into the south central here for Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. You can see going into Friday morning, Saturday night, Friday morning, that snow is going to really get started there as it moves into Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and eventually into Missouri and Arkansas there. That's mainly going to be Friday morning, moving into Friday, just getting into Friday evening before that snow starts to die down by around 6 p.m. on Friday. They're looking at the NAM solution here, a little bit of a higher resolution model here. You can see that snow gets started early morning Friday, going into mainly Kansas. Not as much snow according to the NAM for Oklahoma, and not really too much snow there for Arkansas. So maybe some mixed precip. So big question mark there in Arkansas. Is it going to be mixed precip? Is it going to be snow? Big question mark there. So I don't think that's going to resolve until we get pretty much to the day. So we'll have to try to get another update out before then, which we definitely will, to see what the models change getting into that event. But yeah, definitely some snow up there going into Friday and then pushing into Saturday as well. Looking at the snow totals out here, you can see that it's gone down a decent amount since the last time we looked at this, looking like getting into those 2 to 3 inches. We had some 5-inch spots earlier and a little bit bigger of a strip of that snow over here for the southern plains, but looks like that's gone down a little bit. NAM is showing the same thing, so not as bullish as it was. But look at that over there in Arkansas and Missouri, might even get a little dusting, but most likely whatever falls will melt pretty quickly, unfortunately, but could see some flakes there, so definitely keep your eyes out for that. Now pushing this over to the East Coast, where everybody is wondering what's going to happen with this snow. What's the newest data on this? Starting really on Saturday, this would be Friday night going into Saturday morning. Could see some snowflakes start to pick up there. Maybe some light accumulation over in Illinois and Indiana going into Ohio. Then that moves, by the time we get to around Saturday evening, like 12 p.m. here, that moves into West Virginia, Northern Virginia, going into Pennsylvania as well. According to the GFS, we're still a little bit far out, but this is looking a little bit consistent here, at least on what the GFS has been saying. And then going into Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and over there in the Northeast with Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island, by Sunday morning is when that's going to really start to pick up, and that could last all day depending on what this little clipper system does here. This has been pretty consistent on the GFS, so that it's a little interesting system that maybe could bring some extra snowfall on the backside of this. Looking at the latest snowfall totals across the way, you can see that we're talking about, potentially a pretty big strip here. A little bit of an uptick here on the latest GFS run. This literally just came out moments ago, and you can see that still have this big strip of 10 to 11 inches, really extending from northern Virginia, going into West Virginia, all the way into Pennsylvania, southwest or southeastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey. Pretty much all of Connecticut has 7 to 8 inches. So if you're in Connecticut, and this plays out here, the whole state's going to get a decent amount. Then over there, the biggest amount of snow I can see on this map is going to be extending into Massachusetts there. So that is a decent little strip. It's not very thick, but a little thin strip. So it's going to be like it's going to be like a lottery. This will shift around a little bit more before we really get to the day here. But so it could still shift a little bit to the north, could still shift a little bit to the south. But whoever gets this little strip of snow is probably going to be pretty happy or pretty mad at this day, depending on what kind of person you are. Some people like a lot of snow. Some people don't really like a lot of snow. But to the north of it, you can see still seeing those 4 to 5 inches of snow for the rest of Pennsylvania going into New York. And then that tapers off the further you go up to the northeast. Then looking at the Euro solution here, not as bullish down here for the southern part of this, maybe 2 to 3, getting up in those 4 inches there for parts of West Virginia going into Virginia, and then going into Pennsylvania, we have a decent little area here of 6 to 7 up to 9 inches of snow there for Pennsylvania, New York. So big differences here. Euro's a little bit farther up to the north. GFS is a little bit further to the south. With the Euro, we're talking more impacts a little bit further up to the north. So really spreading from New York through Vermont, New Hampshire, going into Maine, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island, still getting in on that snow no matter what model you look at here. But yeah, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Still seeing a big snowstorm here. Still seeing a big snowstorm. It's not over. The models have been doing some weird trends. I'm not gonna lie. They've been going down, and then they've been going up with the snowfall, which is to be expected. We're still I think it's about 3 to 4 days out from this event. So this is exactly what we expect. Snow. It takes a while for those numbers to really get dialed in, for the models to really get it correct. But yeah, that's why we are here monitoring it. So let's come back over to here really quick. Just talk about the severe weather risk. Just touch on it here. We do have a marginal risk down here for New Orleans, Gulfport, Mobile, Pensacola, Panama City, and Apalachicola. And that's going to be with this little line of storms here. It's going to come through the area, through Mobile, move off to the east, and then eventually start to die off there as we get to about 12 a.m. on the 6th there of January. And if we come over to the Cape here, not a whole lot is actually making it onto shore. Maybe a brief moment there for New Orleans with that nice instability, or enough instability for tornadoes or severe weather. They're right on the toe. I guess you could call that the pinky toe of Louisiana. And then a little interesting area here that we got to watch over here now near Panama City and Apalachicola is just getting up into enough fuel for these storms to cause tornadoes. The sheer environment is going to be there for these storms. Hey, thank you, Lola, for being a member for 12 months. Everybody put birthday cakes in the chat for Lola. I do appreciate that. That's a huge help to the channel. We are mainly crowdfunded, so every one of your donations go a really long way in helping keeping this channel going. So I do appreciate that. It could get upgraded, yeah. I mean, if we consistently get enough instability in this area, especially on this eastern side, maybe could see a slight risk introduced here. So we will have much to cover over the next few days. But there's that marginal risk. Let's see if we can get the 7-day risk to work here on this thing. Sometimes it doesn't work, and it just is annoying. Hey, thank you, Carol, for being a member for 5 months. Thank you very much. Everybody put birthday cakes in the chat for Carol as well. But yeah, let's go see if it'll come up here. Should be day 6. It does. Look at that. The first time ever. on a live stream where this has worked on this app. But 6 days from now, we are talking about another severe weather risk. So that is going to be, let's come back over to here. That is going to be for this storm here. That's going to come through Monday into Tuesday night, and then all the way throughout Tuesday morning. So we could be talking about an overnight threat with this storm as it moves off to the east. So definitely something to keep an eye on. The Cape should be there. The major question with this storm, especially since we're still pretty far out, is going to be whether or not there's going to be enough instability. Kind of the same thing with this other storm that's coming through, but it's a stronger system. So, you know, it has a little bit of a higher chance of bringing a little bit more instability into the picture, as it'll affect more moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico. And, you know, but the main issue here is going to be those clouds and all that precipitation that's going to be out in front of the warm sector. So, you know, are we going to get enough instability or not? We'll have to see. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for this forecast. Does anybody have any questions here? We can pull up the estimated snowfall amounts here on the GFS here and start to answer questions in regards to at least the snowfall on the GFS. I'm not sure. Let me check to see if yeah. It's so interesting, you know, that it seems like Radar Mega does so much work to make this a good app for radar coverage, but they don't really put too much attention into making this a good app for forecasters, which you think they should, right? You know, just the fact that you know, forecasting videos bring so much attention to all these different apps. You'd think they'd put a little bit more of a focus, but you can't even look at Euro snowfall in this app. That's bad. But we can look at the GFS with this first system. So let's bring this all the way through here. Does anybody have any questions? Let's see. Who we got? First one I see is Saginaw, Michigan. Let's come over to there. Saginaw. It looks like according to the GFS, you're not going to see any snow out of this. Let me check on the Euro. Yeah, the Euro is saying, let's see, come over to here. Yeah, the Euro is saying a dusting out of this storm. Again, some things can change on this, but I'd be more focused on that second storm that's going to come through. I think you're going to have a little bit of a better chance with this next storm after this storm for snow. But for this specific storm, looking like a dusting maybe, and that's going to be about it. But keep your eyes out for those snowflakes. All right, let's keep on scrolling down here. How about Delaware? And all right, hold on. You can see in the chat down here where I'm at in the questions. I'm trying not to skip over. Do I think anywhere in Louisiana will get severe weather? Yes, southern Louisiana could definitely get some severe weather. Let's come back down to here. This is going to be Monday going into Tuesday here for Louisiana, and then also the day before that as well. Going over to here, you guys are in a marginal risk, but mainly on the toes, there of Louisiana. Do I keep saying? I think I keep saying Los Angeles, but for some reason, because I'm thinking LA in my head, which is the abbreviation for the state, but I meant Louisiana if I said that. Sometimes I make that mistake. Let's see here. We got more questions. Baton Rouge. So Baton Rouge is just out of there for the severe weather risk going into, let's see, that would be 3 days from now. So Thursday, Friday going into Saturday down there. But I think you guys are in the day 6. Yeah, you're definitely in that day 6. So you're kind of in that region of pay attention to the forecasts as we get closer to this event, because this is going to shift around a little bit. And you know, where that instability actually shows up will change over the next couple of days. Let's see here. What about Boston, Massachusetts? Again, I just want to preface this, guys. We're looking at these snow models. 1, they're going to change as we get closer. And 2, this is only one model run here. We can check the Euro over here. My webcam is blinking. Just making sure it's not about to shut off on me. Okay, I don't know what's up with that. But yeah, let's come back over to here. We got Boston, Massachusetts. Let's check it out. Boston. Massachusetts. Yeah, looks like you guys are in a nice little area here for some snowfall. At least the latest run on the GFS. Again, it's going to shift around, so take this with a grain of salt. Still, once we get in that 48-hour range, then we can definitely start talking a little bit more certainty here. But as of right now, the GFS has 11 inches for your area, and coming over to the Euro model, looking like around 12 to 13 inches. So between 11 and 13 inches, according to the models today. Again, today. They will change. All right, let's see here. Gosh, so many questions. That's good, though. Let's see here. It seems like the Carolinas are always missing out on some snow. Yeah, unfortunately. You guys used to get a lot of snow. Will I cover the winter potential for Chicago? Absolutely. Chances of water spouts at the Gulf Shores, Alabama? Yeah. For both of these events, for sure. Yeah, chances of water spouts tomorrow and the next, or not tomorrow, but on 3 days from now, and then 6 days from now. Definitely going to be some chances there for some water spouts and tornadoes down there. Springville, Tennessee, mainly just going to be rain with this thing. Let's come over to here for you. So for Tennessee, bring this back to here. Tennessee's mainly going to be rain as of right now. If you're on eastern Tennessee, you might get some mixed precip and some snow, but it won't really accumulate as we're going to have warm air coming in on the backside. So whatever you get is not going to really stick for too long, but definitely some rain is going to be possible. We're not talking about severe weather though for you there. And shifting energy to the East Coast. You have to be a little bit more specific on that, Brian. Let's see, Liberty, Indiana. So for over here for Indiana, you can see that snow is going to be starting to pick up there at around Saturday, and then Saturday morning. Moving out by Saturday evening, and then maybe that little clipper system could bring some more for you there. And then coming over here to the GFS, you can see out of this first storm could potentially have a pretty wide area of snow coverage here of about 2 to 3 inches. We're not talking any big snowfall amounts out of this storm, maybe an isolated spot or two of 3 to 4 inches, but for the most part, as of right now, as the models stand, most people throughout the state of Indiana are going to get some sort of coating from around 1 to 3 inches of snow. Central Illinois is going to be hit or miss. As of right now, not really indicating too much snow for Central Illinois, unless you live like in North Central, where you might get a dusting, might see some snowflakes. A lot of Illinois, though, if I'm not mistaken. No, yeah, right on that line. So there's a line here, definitely a snow line. If we come over to here, right there, you can see where those below freezing temperatures set up is going to be very pivotal. I mean, if it sinks down a little bit further to the south, you could potentially get some more snow there in Illinois. But as of right now, it seems like most of the folks in Illinois, from central to southern Illinois, aren't going to get really anything. But the further you go north, the higher your chances are, as there will be colder temperatures up there. All right, let's see here. Thanks. Yeah, no problem. You wouldn't be surprised if next Tuesday's storm falls apart for the mid-Atlantic region. We find if it does. You like heat and humidity? Yeah. Things could still change. That's a good point to make. Will there be snow in Webb City, Missouri? Second storm, how much? Yeah, we're not talking about snowfall yet with the second storm. Just because it's too early to talk about snow, we're really far out. But in terms of how it's looking, I mean, this has been pretty consistent on the models for the past few days. This is going into Tuesday morning. I mean, a nice little strip there of some almost maxed out heavy snow here could be coming through Kansas, going into Missouri, and then really picking up there for Indiana, going into our Illinois, going into Indiana, and then Michigan there, getting some pretty heavy snowfall amounts. But again, we're past 5 days on this. So probably tomorrow's forecast, we'll start talking about snowfall amounts with big caveats saying that, things are 100% going to change and could change quite drastically with the second storm. With this storm over here, things could change, but not as much. There's going to be smaller changes with this storm now that we're getting closer and closer in range here. Let's see here. Can't wait for a snowy Sunday here in Massachusetts. Yeah, I really hope you guys get like a decent amount of snow. Although there for Massachusetts, we're getting into that amount of snowfall that could be a little bit dangerous, especially over here. I mean, look at this. The GFS is saying up to 18 inches is going to be possible there near New Bedford. It's quite a bit. That's going to shut down things a little bit. So definitely want to prepare for that if that ends up confirming as a possibility as we get closer. Eastern Mountains of West Virginia. Yeah, the Eastern Mountains of West Virginia are going to be getting a decent amount of snow. According to the GFS here, maybe getting up some spots up into a foot of snow. And the further you go north, the less amount, according to the GFS. And if we come over to the Euro model, there we go. Coming over to the Euro model, not as much. So the GFS is definitely more bullish. And the Euro model is saying, between 3 to maybe 7 inches, depending on where you live and where that snow really starts to set up there. So definitely no definites there for the mountains of the eastern side of the mountains there for West Virginia. All right, let's see here. How far south will the snow line extend to? So if we come over to here, you can see that I'm assuming you're talking about this storm. So it looks like, according to the models, GFS has it going all the way down to Virginia, and then really anything south of that's mainly just getting rain, and the Euro's kind of on the same page except for a less heavier snow further south. But you can see that extending all the way down into what's going on there? Why is snow showing up in Alabama? That doesn't make no sense. I'm not sure what's up with that. Not really showing up on the GFS, but the Euro has snow extending all the way into Tennessee and Alabama. Maybe a dusting is possible. That will change, though. I'm telling you, I'm a huge snow skeptic when it comes to the Southeast. We get snow signals all the time, and they never happen. So I would take that with a big old grain of salt. How much do I think Ohio will get? I don't know. We're not making any definite statements today, but according to the Euro, could be anywhere from a dusting to 2 inches, and the GFS could be anywhere from 1 inch to 3 inches there in Ohio. We're not making any definite, this is what's going to happen, because it's just hard to do that in general for snow. We will be live for it. Let's hit the first part of the question. Sorry, I'm trying to answer everything. There's so many questions, so little time. I'm trying to rush through them. What about Peoria, Illinois? Let me see. Peoria, Illinois. That would be in the northern part, I think. Let me just type it in here. Peoria, I think that's how you say it. Peoria, Arizona. Just kidding. Illinois, yeah, looking like today the models are saying anywhere from 1 to 2 inches there. So again, things could change, especially in this area, because that snow line, if it goes up a little bit more to the north, you could be looking like Taylorville with not a whole lot. If it goes a little bit further to the south, you could be looking a little bit more like Dixon. So definitely some variability there, depending on where that snow line sets up. You really want snow? Hey, I feel you, Mal. Long Island, New York. Yeah, looking like Long Island, according to the GFS, is going to be anywhere from, especially over there near New York City, could potentially get up to almost a foot of snow, which is quite impressive. Coming over near Islip, north of Brookhaven, over there near Riverhead, talking about 5, maybe even getting up into the 10-inch range. So it looks like it's going to be pretty variable. Just depends where that snow sets up, but really anywhere from from like 1 to 7, 9 inches. So yeah, could be possible there. So we'll have to see. Long Island is really hard to get right. Just to let you know, when it comes to looking at snow totals for Long Island, so hard to get it right because it's so close to the ocean, and those snowfall totals are going to change quite a bit. If we come over to the Euro is not as bullish. Let's come over to here. Euro is not as bullish, talking about maybe 4 inches across the entire area there for Long Island. Let's see here. Hammond, Indiana. Let me look at that for you. Hammond. Yeah, looking like Hammond's going to be right around that 1 to 2 inch zone here. 1 to 2 inches is going to be possible. But again, these things are going to shift around. Things are going to change. This is very, very preliminary. These will change. We're just kind of answering questions in terms of snowfall amounts. But I just want to put that caveat on it. It's still pretty early. These things will change. Just want to make sure you guys understand that. Everybody, type 1 in chat if you understand that. if I've done a good enough job to push that across. Monroe County, Pennsylvania. Monroe County is looking like it could potentially get a decent amount of snow. You're on the northern edge of this, so if we get a southern shift, you're going to be going from like those 11s down to like maybe some like 5s to 6s. But it seems like you're right around in that area, which could potentially get a decent amount of snow. So definitely pay attention to future forecasts. But as of right now on the GFS, it's saying up to a foot of snow. So let's go over to the Euro and check and comparing. Oops. Sorry. It's looking like around a foot of snow. Sorry. Didn't have it on the right screen there, but let's go look at the Euro. It's saying, so you're like right around here in between like 5 to 8 inches there. Can I tell you what to expect in Wolf City? So for you, I think your main thing is going to be rain. Yeah, so for this first storm, you're going to have some rain come through. Not going to be severe. Unfortunately, the snow is going to go to the north of you, most likely. And then with the second storm, it looks like it's going to be rain again. So we'll keep an eye on it for you. You never know. You might get a little bit more of an advection of instability and moisture up to the north here, and maybe a little bit of a marginal threat for severe weather could exist there. But it's still a little bit too early to tell on that. Is there a chance of tornadoes for Baton Rouge? That will be one of the risks 6 days from now if the models don't change too significantly. But again, 6 days. My YouTube voice thinks your name is Heaven Freiberger. All right, that's interesting. No, but yeah, so we'll be watching it. It's still too early to tell, really. We do have this area down here with that severe weather probability. This is a slight risk. So again, if we get a little bit of a further northern trajectory of that, could potentially get a marginal risk somewhere close to you, but it's still too early to tell there. All right, let's see here. Thank you, Christopher Vids, for subscribing. By the way, guys, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It does help, or it does mainly help you get notified when I have a video or a live stream. We're going to be trying to do videos and live streams every single day just to keep you doubly updated on what's going on with the weather. Also, consider liking as well. It helps us reach more people. All right, let's see here. Thank you, Ma. I appreciate that. Do I think Omaha, Nebraska will get smacked on the second round? It's possible. It's definitely possible. That's in the realm of possibilities. I would say it's a little bit too far out to really say anything too definite, because as you can see, the latest run on the GFS at least has this going, bringing some heavier snow to Nebraska. Not the heaviest, but heavy enough to cause some accumulation if this does end up playing like this. But this will shift around a little bit. This will definitely shift around, given that it's 5 days out here. Central and upstate New York going out of business. I hope not. Oh, yeah. With the snow plowing, yeah, it's interesting. My family has a vacation house that my grandpa built in Vermont, or I'm not sure if it was my grandpa or my great great grandpa, but one of them built it. But yeah, our neighbor out there, they have a snowplow business, and they've been doing pretty good, at least in Vermont. But I can imagine other people having some issues there. That would really not be good. Yeah, I've never even thought about that. With a lack of snow, anybody that has a snowplow business right now in the areas that haven't really been getting a lot, they're all going out of business. Hopefully, they're like local municipalities are giving them like bank loans to keep them afloat. That's gotta suck. Kind of depressing to think about, not gonna lie. Let's see here. Providence, Rhode Island. According to the GFS right now, it looks like you guys are sitting around that 12-inch range. Again, this is going to shift around. These numbers will change. And then according to the GFS right here. Sorry. According to the Euro, I got to remember to switch back and forth. According to the Euros, looking like you could be in and around that 9 to 10-inch zone there in Providence. So, some decent agreement there between those two models of Rhode Island seeing a lot of snow. But we'll have to see. Hopefully the models stay a little bit more consistent, but going into these next couple of days, we're going to start to get the more higher res models like the HRRR and then AM3K, which should help us get a little bit better of a higher definition view of what's going to happen with this thing. All right, let's see here. You live up in Sault Ste. Marie, may need to mow your grass. Yeah, technically the more your grass, no, never mind, it's not true. I was about to say, I wonder if the more your grass is mowed, the better the snow looks. Because if you don't mow, well, it could be true. So if you don't mow your grass, then you have those little grass strands sticking up. So yeah, if you mow your grass, it should look like you have more snow, even if you get less. That could be a good tactic there. I think storm number 2 for next week, Tuesday, could be a nasty storm for Buffalo. I don't know. Let's see. Not really seeing too much of a lake effect snow. It looks like Buffalo's going to be right on that snow rain line, according to the latest model run. But again, that's going to shift around a lot. So who knows? If you live near Buffalo, just make sure that you are paying attention to the latest forecasts that are coming out. Because this storm, after this storm starts to get in that under the 120-hour mark, so probably within a day or two, it's going to be talked about a lot more with a little bit more confidence for sure. Let's see, Long Island, New York. Need to know. We never get snow. It's looking like a possibility. Both models are showing a decent amount of snow for your area. The Euro, not so much. The Euro is kind of like 4 inches maybe. And then over here on the GFS, it's showing, potentially up to 9 inches. But again, this is going to be a very hard area to forecast. It's going to be a big question mark pretty much until it happens. That's just kind of how it is for Long Island. It's really hard to say anything definite about Long Island just because it's kind of over the ocean there. Let's see here. In Tennessee last summer, waiting for some beautiful snow. Well, if you moved to Tennessee, oh, you moved to Indiana from Tennessee. I was about to say, if you moved to Tennessee, then you might be waiting a while. I live in northern Alabama. We never get anything. All right, looks like we've made it through most of the questions. That's good. Let's see. Do I think 33 miles northwest of Philly gets snow? Let's see. Northwest of Philly. Yeah, it looks like at least the GFS is saying yes, and quite a bit of it. In between 6 to 12 inches of snow could be possible there, according to the GFS, and the Euro is saying about the same thing. So there's a little bit of agreement here on the Euro and the GFS for your area. So we'll have to see how that shifts around, but it's better news if there's at least some agreement. Like there's agreement between the GFS over here for Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut, and also over here in Western Pennsylvania. But other places aren't seeing as much agreement. So definitely gotta keep that in mind. Things could change, but hopefully that ends up working out for you there. Let's see. should we expect in Ohio? So Ohio is kind of iffy. Could be like a dusting to an inch, maybe some isolated spots of up to like an inch or 2 to 3 inches over there just to the west of Columbus, but this is going to shift around a lot. Over here, this is pretty much where it's going to just kind of remain a question mark going all the way into this event here. So just keep that in mind. We're never really going to have a definite answer for you here, but it does seem like, depending on where you live, definitely going to see some snowflakes, but what that exact accumulation ends up being, it's going to be up in the air. The GFS is a little bit more bullish there for Ohio, at least for Western Ohio. And then coming over to the Euro, looks like Western Ohio is not really getting too much, but Southern Ohio there could get some. Over there near Kentucky, Northern Kentucky, might even potentially see up to 4 to 5 inches or 3 to 4 inches, maybe getting close to 5 inches in some spots there as well on the Euro. And that's kind of consistent over here on the GFS too. Interesting. Very interesting. Lots of snow, that's for sure. I can say that for certain. Just don't know exactly where for who yet. Thank you, Caleb, for subscribing. I appreciate that. What do I expect? 45 miles northwest of DC. 45 miles northwest from DC. So that's like near northwest. Yeah, potentially over there near Frederick and Leesburg, could potentially see anywhere from 6 to 12 inches there. But according to the Euro, not a whole lot, maybe 3 to 4 inches. So definitely some big disagreement there. So still kind of a question mark for your area, but it does seem like you could see some snow and potentially a lot of it. So just got to tune into the latest forecasts after that. But yeah, North Carolina, maybe in the mountains here in North Carolina, maybe. But everywhere else is a big no. Mainly going to be rain for you, and non-severe rain, thankfully. Oh my gosh. So many more questions. All right, we got 4 more minutes to answer everybody's questions. So I'm going to try my best to get to as many as possible. And we'll skip over a few, and then we'll just pick random questions. I'll pick randomly here, and ones that I haven't, in areas I haven't talked about yet. Let's see. Colton, can you please stop spamming? Let's see. Well, Indiana gets lots during the second system later next week. It's still too early to tell, Gabe, but that's definitely in the possibilities there, at least how the models are looking today. So definitely something to continue to look out for in future forecasts. Let's see. What about Middleton, Delaware? Okay, so we haven't talked about Delaware at all, so that's a good question. So Delaware, let's look where Middleton is. Middleton, Delaware. Am I spelling that wrong? Probably. Middletown. Okay. Yeah, it looks like on the GFS, you're probably just going to get a dusting and 0 accumulation out of this. And also on the Euro, looks like you're not getting any accumulation out of this storm. So, unfortunately, it'll be hit or miss. I will say, though, it's not guaranteed that you don't get any snow. Again, we've seen some southerly shifts with this storm, so we could get another one, and then all of a sudden, you're in this big old band of some nice snow. So definitely, one of those things where you probably won't be able to let your guard down really at all until the thing is over. But as we get closer, we'll definitely have more answers. Angela, stop trying to get everybody to spam donations. What are you I mean, not donations. I just saw the donation popped up there. Thank you, Judy. Well, I'll thank you in a second. But stop trying to get everybody to spam their cities. I already got enough questions to answer. But yeah, thank you, Judy, for that 5 gifted memberships. Guys, if you get a membership from Judy, make sure you are saying thank you. It's very generous of you, Judy. Not only helps me, helps you guys as well. Get to have a membership. Let's see here. Random questions. All right, stopping here. Is the second system going to bring something good to Northern Ohio? It's possible. But again, it really just depends on where that snow line sets up, which isn't really clear at this point, Severe Storm Filmer. Let's see. How about the east coast of Virginia? The east coast of Virginia is looking a little lackluster. Not gonna lie, looking like rain here on the GFS, and unfortunately rain as well over here on the Euro. But maybe if we get a big shift to the south, maybe in this region right here. So that would be over there near Tappahannock and Lexington Park could potentially get some snow, but it's mainly looking like a rain event for you guys, unfortunately. Let's see, random questions. Hey, thank you, Jim, for subscribing. I appreciate that. Lebanon, Pennsylvania. We haven't talked about Pennsylvania too much, so let's talk about that. Lebanon, oh yeah, according to the GFS, you are almost in the bullseye, but again, the bullseye will shift around, but you're kind of in one of those areas where it's going to take a lot of shifting north or south for you to not get snow. So it looks like you're positioned here in a decent city to get a decent amount of snow. The GFS has you sitting at almost a foot of snow, and the Euro, let's see where Lebanon is, just to the north of the border here, kind of near the Pac-Man mouth of New Jersey. So right around in this area, yeah, both of them. I will say the Euro solution is a little bit more iffy for you. If it goes a little bit further to the north, you might not be seeing that much snow, according to the Euro solution. But the GFS kind of has you in a comfortable zone. So, you know, I would definitely say a decent amount of snow is possible for you. That's for sure. Let's come over to here. Keep on scrolling down. All right. Oh, never mind. Sorry, guys. So sorry. I'm so sorry. It is unfortunately time for me to go. Guys, I wish I could stick around longer. And I definitely will tomorrow. So if you want tomorrow, I'm not gonna be playing pickleball because I'll be all sore and I'll be tired, and I will answer way more questions tomorrow. We'll have another update. It'll be a little bit later, probably around 6 or 6:30, or maybe we'll do 5 p.m. again. What do you guys think? Here, we'll ask you guys. What do you think? Just if you have a preferred time tomorrow, I go live. Just put it in chat and put it with your time zone. But I will be able to answer more questions tomorrow, as there'll probably be like an hour to a 2-hour live stream, just because, you know, it's important. I feel like, you know, to not only do the videos, I will be releasing a video again at 5 a.m. tomorrow, so stay tuned for that as well. But in terms of the live stream, I do think it's important to try to answer as many of your questions as possible, so tomorrow we will definitely be spending a lot more time with that. So yeah, make sure you're subscribed, and so you can get that notification tomorrow. 5 p.m. is good. Okay. 5 p.m. Seeing a lot of 5 p.m.s. Okay, so we'll do 5 p.m. tomorrow again, and then yeah, so just make sure you're subscribed, turn on the post notifications, you'll get that notification, or just check back within the channel. I think my name's pretty easy to remember, but yeah, I'll definitely see you guys tomorrow morning and then tomorrow night, and we'll answer more of your guys' questions. Sorry I couldn't stick around for a little bit longer, but I gotta get in shape, guys. I have to get into shape. I can't tell you just how much weight I've gained since COVID. And it's getting to the point where I'm like, okay, you know, we might start getting some health problems here from this. So got to get back in shape. Pickleball, that's going to be the way I do it. But you guys have a good rest of your evening. Thank you, everybody that has showed up. Let's go thank all the donators again. So I do appreciate it big time. Thank you, Judy, for being an EF3 member for 7 months. Thank you, Susan, for being an EF1 member for 6 months. Thank you, Mr. Top Fan, for being an EF1 member for 6 months. Thank you, Susan, for gifting a membership. Thank you, Lola, for being the first person to have ever been an EF1 member for a year. Everybody put birthday cakes in the chat for Lola. I can't even believe it's been a year since we've gotten a partner. It's absolutely nuts. And thank you, Carol, as well, for being an EF1 member as well. But yes, you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I will see you early tomorrow and then late, or I guess 5 p.m. tomorrow as well. So see y'all then. Peace.